What's up, guys? Welcome to another edition of Sports Talk SA. This is Matt, I'm Damon, and today we're chatting with Johan Du Toit. Johan, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Now, Johan, you are a professional rugby player. You started off by Boland, you moved to the Sharks, you're now contracted to Western Province and the Stormers, but we haven't seen you lately. Where have you been?
Yeah, I've been out since about September month last year, 2021. Had a supposed to be a small operation, just removed a small screw of a previous ACL, and then unfortunately I got infection in the hospital, and that ended up being three operations at the end of the day, and about a week and a half in the hospital as well on IV antibiotics and stuff like that, and then out of the hospital another 2 months on antibiotics probably. Yeah, so I've been out for quite a while. It's about 6 months now, 5 to 6 months, and still struggling a little bit with the knee, but I'm getting there slowly but steadily.
Aren't you going a bit crazy without playing a bit of sport, being active, or are you trying to keep active a bit?
Yeah, definitely trying to be active a bit. Luckily, I've got the farm to go to, and started training a little bit the past month, so getting there slowly but steadily.
Okay,
and
awesome.
yeah.
Great, man.
You've got some good stats. Basically, your stats at this point of time show that every time you get the ball, you make an average of 2 meters per play. You've got 7 tries in your matches, or actually one of the Stormers of 8 tries. So it shows that you're a go-forward player. You really enjoy getting that ball. You're not one of the sitting back guys. I wanted to ask you one question, one personal question just to start off with. One of your coaches said that you have phenomenal work rate. He compares you to your older brother, Peter. But there's one question that's been left unanswered. Perhaps you could answer it for us today. Who's the faster one between you and Peter? Who's quicker?
Yeah. If you ask me, I'll say me, and if you ask him, he'll say him. Yeah, it's going to be a tight race. I must say, it depends on the day.
Ready for the fit.
When I'm fully fit.
I wanted to jump in just to ask. These days, rugby's become a lot more physical. The players are a lot more physical, bigger, stronger. As a flank, has that whole role of a out-to-out fetcher, is that role still important in a flank? If you're a good flank these days, must you be a out-and-out fetcher and a physical player and a good ball carrier? Because in the past, the flanks weren't the biggest ball carriers. You being 2 meters per run is phenomenal to me. So has that whole role of out-to-out fetcher kind of left the game, or is that still kind of there?
I think it depends on the coach, on your head coach, what type of game plan they actually want. It depends. I think if you go for the Bulls, they actually want the more physical, bigger guys that actually want the more go forward. But if you, maybe Province, then they like a bit more of a 6 flank type, of older type of vibe. I think the 6 role, the older 6 role went to the hookers as well.
Yes.
You actually see a lot of good hookers.
Exactly.
That's actually hooker and a flank.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, you get a lot of people, hookers that actually good stealers as well. So it depends on the coach. I think if you have a good hooker that's a good stealer, you can maybe
have 2 physical flanks on the side.
Exactly.
Ball carriers.
Yes, definitely.
Can you remember your first try, your first professional try? Can you actually remember that moment of scoring the try for Province?
Jeepers, I can't really remember. One that I can remember was like a soft try in my eyes. For Province was when Werner Kok actually passed me the ball, and I just carried it over the line, and then they had to review the try because they actually thought it was forward, and we were looking at each other, and we said like, what did we just do? And we were like, luckily it was not forward, and we scored.
Werner Kok, speaking of Werner Kok, a good work rate player.
Definitely,
he's one of the hardest players we've seen with work rates. Very great to watch him.
I tend to agree. Even on the training field as well.
Is that?
I like playing and training with him. He actually pushes you a bit to be a bit better.
Yeah.
That's a great guy.
Yeah, definitely, man.
And having a look at the different pitches, the different stadiums, Cape Town Stadium, we've got Newlands, all the heritage. What's your opinion of that? Because now you've moved over to Cape Town Stadium. Are you enjoying playing at the moment? Different vibe?
I must say, for me as a kid growing up in Cape Town, in the Western Cape, Newlands has been part of my life for a long time. I was privileged to actually be part of my professional career as well. So I was lucky to play on Newlands as well. But I must say, I think the Cape Town Stadium, it's a new addition. It's nice with the new, more modern. It's more modern, bigger change rooms. So yeah, both have their privileges and disadvantages. But I tend to just play rugby.
I wanted to ask you, playing behind closed doors during lockdown time, how's that been on the players? It's been tough, obviously, with no fans there. How do the guys mentally prepare for it? Is it just any other normal game, or is it?
Yeah, I must say, I think it's been tough. It's been tough for me personally as well. I always say when there were fans previously, all the players always said, no, we don't get psyched up by the fans.
Yeah.
But I think they actually have a little bit of influence on you. And I think it's small, but it's just the environment that it creates. It gives you a little bit more of that energy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is a lot more fun to play with fans than without. So yeah, it wasn't that great, but you had to go through it.
We'll get there soon again, eh?
Exactly.
For yourself on a personal side, now you're going to play a match, week is building up, you come to the night before, you come to the day of. What are some of the things that you do to keep yourself calm? I mean, now you're going to go face up against these teams. Is there any rituals you have, music you're listening to, books you read? What do you usually prepare yourself as you hunt before you go onto the pitch that day?
Geez, I tend to try and stay away from all the like superficial type of beliefs because I've tried them all. I've tried reading books, I've tried listening to music. I think you go through it, and I think some players, they put too much like a tendency on it. Then they believe if you listen to that one song before a game, you believe you're going to play good for every game. It's not how it works, unfortunately. But if it's a later game, I tend to sleep a little bit later, try to sleep a little bit later to keep the day a bit shorter, as short as possible, to be rested up. And the night before, it's either pasta or some meat, so it's simple.
Yeah, there's actually one game which will probably live with you forever, playing against the British and Irish Lions. We actually bought tickets. I bought 10 tickets. We booked hotel. We were so excited for that game. It's once in a lifetime game. How was it for you playing against them?
That was a big privilege. It was so much fun actually playing there. At that time of stage, it wasn't really supposed to start. Then COVID hit, so stuff just fell into my place, and I was starting again at number 7. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Very physical?
Very physical. Was a physical game. I think we met them physically the first 20 minutes. Then they just outskilled us. I must say, the type of skill that's international players it's next level.
Next level.
But I mean, you've actually played. You were captain of an invitational side, and you went up against the Cheetahs. In that side, they had 4 good Springboks: Ruan Pienaar, Roscoe Spekman, Opa Mahoji,
And
Frans Steyn. Thank you. You went up against them. You actually captained the side. Talk to us about that leadership. Did you enjoy that role, actually going in there as captain now?
I definitely did that, yes. I liked it a lot. Didn't expect it at all. When the coach, I think it was like a day before, the coach just pulled me one side and said, would you like to captain the side? I was, yes, it would definitely be a privilege. It was an experience of a lifetime, I must say. When they ask you in the beginning, and we're like, it was supposed to be our off week and so on, and then when we got there, and just the players, it was all a bunch of players that had hunger. A lot of players didn't get a lot of game time, and I think it was a good lesson learned. If you put a lot of people together with the same common goal, with the same like hunger, you can achieve great things.
I want to check with you. So you've played lock, flank, 8th man. How does your mindset work at that? Because obviously it's a different role in the team. Or how do you change your mindset, or how do you adapt to the role? Do you play your same game, but then obviously when you're 8th, then you must go back for the kick? So how do you kind of get all that?
I must say it's difficult sometimes, especially if you have to prep for all of them.
Yeah.
Because usually the coach will come to you, okay, you're covering maybe 6, 7, and 8 this weekend, and then there's certain small stuff according to the game plan that you have to do.
Yeah.
5 lock it's difficult when you got a lot of responsibility on with the line outs and so on. 4 lock, it's easy, you know your calls and you're in there like the enforcer. But for me it's simple. I just like to play. You'll always make mistakes. If you make a mistake on a call, if you're playing 5 lock, get over it, just play on. So I tend to play the same type of rugby that I play, just with this minor things that you actually have to adjust.
Okay, yeah, definitely. Another question to put you on the spot a little bit. Who would you say is one of the most underrated players you've played with, who you think should actually be in a Springbok role? A player which you think, you know what, this guy in the training, he's legend. I would love to see him go further.
Jeepers, that's a difficult question. if I compare, I usually compare with the people currently at Springboks. Then it's going to be difficult to walk into that team, I must say. It's basically a 2019 World Cup team still playing. But yeah, there's a few players that I actually played with that's not even playing rugby anymore. And I always say a coach can make or break you, and it's not always the best people that actually make it. It's just your time, your luck of the time. If you hit it right, you hit it. So yeah, it's not up to talent or work ethic always. It's just that little bit of luck, and but unfortunately that's the game.
Speaking about coaches and stuff like that, box kicking has become really a big tool in rugby these days. About 10 years ago, I don't think US box kicked once in his life. Is that what's your take on box kicking? Is it because the team's a bit too scared to lose the ball in their own half? Is it a defensive thing? Is it a tactical thing for territory? Why is box kicking now so much more important in rugby?
I think they went a lot of studies into how to gain the most meterage with the least effort, and I think they came up with the type of box kick. Because it's not too far, you can still chase it hard. So I think they take that gamble. If you win it, you gain a lot of territory with minimum effort. So they're trying to play a bit smarter, I think.
And passing back to your fluff is about 10 meters back.
Exactly. You lose 10 meters on that. That gives the pressure a little bit more. The 9 tends to have a little bit less pressure because we putting blockers in place and all that type of stuff.
And how's it been a forward when the box kick, you run in, box kick back, you run in?
That's tough. Because especially as a loose forward, you're supposed to actually chase and you need to fall back. If you're a tight forward, that's where the difference with the lock and the flank comes. When you're on lock, they usually they'll excuse you if you're a little bit late or if you just stagnate. But a flank, you need to be there. You can't hide anymore.
Something that Matt and I chat about a lot, getting your perspective as a forward is quite nice. The scrums. Scrum goes in, scrum collapses, time goes on. Reset scrum collapses, time goes on. And we're looking at the clock, and Matt and I have timed it before 2.5, 3 minutes just for one scrum. Is that something which irritates you as a professional player? Is that something you want to see change?
I usually think about it depends what minute of the game it is.
True.
If it's in the beginning, it starts irritating you. If it's the end of the game, you actually enjoy it. You take a breath. But yeah, I think if you do the research in the sense of, we usually look at time in play, ball in play we call it, and it's about between 30 and 40 minutes. If you hit 40, it's quite good. Sometimes we even go to 28 minutes. So that's actually
playing time?
Playing time.
Playing time.
Physically playing the ball. Without stoppages and so on. So it's not a lot actually, and if you start thinking about it, then we as players shouldn't get as tired as we do.
Because we've seen now in the Varsity Cup and Currie Cup, there's a timer on the conversions, which we think is great. Should there maybe be a timer on reset scrums? Obviously, once a scrum is called, scrum happens. There's a lot of reset scrums. That's just how it is in rugby. Should the ref stop the clock there after the first time and say, guys, talk? Or then maybe should the ref say, one scrum, collapse, scrum again, penalty straight away, no real resets the whole time. Kind of like, we've given you one warning, that's that. What's your take on that maybe?
It's a difficult question for me because I'm on the side. It's more a prop question. But it is difficult. I would like to say if you've got a dominant pack, then you would like to get rewarded a bit quicker. If you unfortunately have a bit of a weaker pack, then you would like that time to actually go out.
Makes sense.
So it depends on the time of day. So
Makes sense.
There was 3 moments that I saw in your career which were amazing. We've touched on 2 of them. Captaining aside.
British Irish Lions.
British Irish Lions tour. There's one more I want to show you. It's actually a picture I've taken, and I'd like to get your opinion on this. I'm actually going to hold it up to the camera. This day.
Definitely.
This day.
No, that's probably my highlight of my career. Playing with my brother. I made my debut. Actually, I made my debut for him coming off, and I went on. And the biggest highlight was probably playing with him, I must say.
Oh, sure. So now moving on to a bit of a different topic. You grew up on the farm with your parents. You've helped them make wine. You guys have been very successful. If anyone hasn't tried their wine, I would suggest trying their wine. Their wine is absolutely amazing. The Kluvenberg, the 8 feet, definitely try it out. You're also known as a businessman. Just chat to us a bit about your business ventures, what you're busy doing at the moment, maybe something in the future you're looking forward to doing.
I wouldn't say I'm a businessman, but I enjoy business. So me and my brothers, we started a brand called 8 Feet. Actually, we grew into it, let's say that. My dad started making wine in 1998, and in 2004 he wanted a different label for his wines. And just one morning, my mom woke up and she said, "Why don't you call it 8 Feet?" And we were all like, and she said it was like a story.
Mom knows best.
Exactly. She said it explains your brother or your sons making wine with you. We used to stomp wine with my dad, and we used to clean the cellar. That was our playing field, I could say. And it symbolizes just our camaraderie, our friendship as father and sons. So that's where the brand 8 Feet came from.
Okay.
And in 2019 we started to actually see if the four brothers can do business with. We started with a coffee trailer. We went into a little bit in the coffee business, and where we're sitting now also was like our lockdown project called 8 Feet Village.
Beautiful place.
Yeah, and it started with a coffee trailer in level 3 lockdown. We were allowed to do takeaways. So yeah.
When did you guys open up this place?
We opened up in June 2021. Before that, we had the coffee trailer here in 2020.
Okay.
And we just started. We started small. We started if we would actually, the people would stop here.
Well, it seems very popular because there's about 4,000 Instagram followers that are ready for 8 Feet for the restaurant, and it's only been open for less than a year.
Exactly,
so that's
yeah.
good. That's obviously a great thing then.
No, definitely, yeah. I think you can't complain with a view like this if people come sit here, and it's a privilege for us to share what we actually are privileged to have with the rest of the world, and to show them a little bit where we grew up. And we spent lockdown here, so we were very privileged. We were still able to go jog and be outdoors where people were stuck in small flats. So yeah, we were very privileged during the whole lockdown season also.
And what about the shoes?
Yeah, so that also started. We started a joint venture with Veldskoen Shoes. We made an 8 Feet Veldskoen, and that's a great relationship we have with them. It's our type of people. We met through someone else, and they just came and visited us, and we had such a lovely time sitting around the dinner table, and we just had some conversations, and then this appeared out of the conversation. So yeah, the story of the 8 Feet Veldskoen is as the four brothers grew up, and we're changing from barefoot into like the business world, I could say, we needed like a pair of shoes to actually wear as business or as grown-ups, and we started this. We thought a shoe would fit that great, and so yeah, it's a nice joint venture we have with them. Yeah.
But I mean, you guys started from the bottom. Look where you are now. For those who haven't actually been to 8 Feet restaurant, I wouldn't say it's a small restaurant. It's quite nice, especially sitting on the deck. It's absolutely amazing. You guys have the wine, you have the coffee, you have the shoes. Is there any other ventures that you're looking at in the future that you may be thinking about? Anything else yet?
Not at this moment. We'll launch a coffee shop type of joint venture as well in Potchefstroom at the end of this month.
Okay.
Yeah, but there is a few things in line, but you have to keep up the channels and we see what happens.
Busy man.
I like that. I think your mom and dad actually have a saying, and I've seen it a lot. Start small, work hard, and you'll get that success.
Definitely.
You've got to start small and build up. And I mean, that's what you guys have done. It's actually such a privilege to chat to a guy like you. So thank you.
No, thank you very much.
And I just want to say thank you once again for chatting with us. I really appreciate it. All the best on your rehab. We can't wait to see you on the field. All the best with your business ventures.
It's going well already.
When you're back on the field, when you're back at the stadium, Matt and I are going to be there in the stadium. We'll be shouting Johan. So we can't wait to see you back on the field. And yeah, thank you for chatting with us.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much, guys.
Cheers.
Thank you very much for watching. Hit like, press subscribe. That's all for us today. For Sports Talk SA, cheers for now.